is the application web page on the agency's web page. I've put it in the chat for those that were able to log in via Teams. And this is the page where you'll find a ton of information about the program, the ability to register and continue your application. FAQs are at the bottom, and just lots of different updates and information. So this is an important page to be able to navigate to. The very first thing you're going to do is register to apply. And you'll come to this page, which has some narrative on it. And as soon as you read it and understand it, you'll just click through a number of questions and get yourself registered. As soon as you do this step, you do not need to do this again. So if you find yourself on this page, instead of the login page, just make sure that you go back to the agency webpage and click on the correct link here. So once you've registered, you want to log in to continue your application. That will take you to a page that looks like this. When you register, you'll develop your username and password. Your username will be in email format. Whether or not it's your actual email doesn't necessarily matter, but that's what most people use, and that's totally fine. If you find yourself here and you haven't yet registered, there is an opportunity to register here in the bottom. So you can just log in, and I'm going to go to mine. So now I've just moved over. It's an identical page, but this is our test application page. So you'll see that I've tested being a number of different farms and creameries and fake businesses. So when you very first log in, you'll not see anything in this box. You'll have no applications. And what you want to do is click on Start a New Application right up here. And if you are a dairy producer, you find that box and click Select, and it will bring up a new application. I have started one for the purposes of testing and to show you. So I'm acting as Barnes Black and Whiteface Ranch number 2. So if you're on the call or you know them, this is not the real application. This is just me running through a test to make sure that everything is working on the back end. And so when you start an application, it will show up here. And to log back in, to restart where you're at, you just click on the edit action and it will open it up for you. So the first thing that you'll do is put in your unique dairy ID number. That was information that was sent out to folks in June of this year. So if you don't have that, feel free to contact the agency and we can send it back to you. If you sent in a W-9, that information will preload through here. So you just need to read through this page. Essentially, if any fields are not grayed out, you can enter information. If it's got the little red asterisk, it is required. So you read through it, confirm that this information is correct, and click Next. Every time you come back to this page to restart your application, you'll have to select Yes and move forward. So you're just reconfirming that the information hasn't changed. Then you work through dairy producer eligibility questions, which I won't go through here. They're very straightforward. And if you answer any of them in a way that would make you ineligible, it will indicate that. And at any point in time, you can go back to your dashboard. We do recommend that when you work through a page, click Next, bring up a new page, and then go back to your dashboard, because that will save the information that you've entered. If you don't click Next before you go back to dashboard, your information may be lost. So this milk production information page is one of the areas where we first notice that people have a little bit of difficulty. So what you need to do first, you'll see that there's nothing here on the table. You add milk production information. This brings up a pop-up window. Your browser may block pop-up windows, so you'll see a notification. So if you can allow those, then you'll be able to see this. The first question is, what federal base or blend price did you receive for January 2020? And for all of the milk information that you're entering, it's for that month's production, not the month or the check that you receive in that month. So for January 2020, it would be the final check that you receive in February. It will indicate on it. It's for the pay period or the period of production for January. Agrimark checks say January on them, or the other months. DFA checks say 1/1 to 1/31. So I'm just going to click 1813. If you select other, enter the milk price exactly as it appears, all of the digits on your milk check, you'll upload the file, which I'll demonstrate here in a moment. So I've got a DFA check here. So I'll use this for the June example. So you can see the period is 6/1 to 6/30. So we know that goes in the June line item. The period total is the milk production in pounds. So you enter this exactly, 75,885, and the pay price being 1498,831. So the process of applying is greatly expedited when you have all of your information already digitized, so you can just attach it. So I'm going to go here to June. The federal pay price again was 14,988.31. 14,988.31, and we had 75,885 pounds of production. 75,885. We'll upload that file. So here we go. And it will accept all file types. Some of them take a little bit longer to load. So this is a PNG file, which is an image. It will accept JPEGs, PDFs, Word docs, Excel documents. So any file type. So feel free, if you only have a cell phone as a way to capture check images, that's fine. Use your cell phone to take the picture. Just make sure it's a clear image so that we can see all those numbers. So there's a DFA check, and here is an Agrimark check. You can see June milk up here on the upper right-hand side. The final voucher is important because we need the whole month's production. So I'm just using this as an example. I'm not going to enter another one, but the pay price for Agrimark is in the middle of the check. This is 16.2925 for total pounds of 237,662. So same information, different parts of the check. It needs to be entered exactly as what is on your check. Do not round, do not abbreviate, enter the digits as they appear on the check. If you've applied for USDA's Coronavirus Farmer Assistance Program, or CFAP, that's an FSA application, you check yes. If you did not do that, you would select no. The application takes into account that payment, and so you do not need to do anything else with the CFAP dairy payments from this point forward. I'm just going to select no. If you select yes, again, no information is needed because the system already takes care of it. So then I save my milk table, and you'll see now you've got farm 1 here. You can continue to edit it if you don't have all your milk checks handy, or you want to take another look before you submit it. You can delete it and start over. Then we click next. Contact information. If you want anybody else to receive notifications about your application, you can add them. It brings up a pop-up window with information to fill in. And then the other economic harm section, this is the next section that tends to trip people up. So if you've experienced any other expenses or lost revenue, or both, since March 1st that are directly related to the pandemic, you can claim those here. So as Joanna was saying earlier, you can claim market loss deductions or supply management fees, and I'll just walk through how you input one of those. You can also claim PPE expenses for staff, additional cleaning supplies. If you've changed anything with the way that you actually do your work on the farm, if you had to hire a babysitter because schools were closed, so you weren't able to send your kids to school, which is when you'd normally do your field work or whatever, those are eligible expenses as well. Or if you found yourself doing more of the labor because your workers couldn't come, those are eligible expenses. So think of all the ways that the pandemic has changed the way that you operate your business. So we're going to do a supply management fee example. So I'm going to pull up the DFA check again. So you can see here that there's this overbase line item. This is a June check again. So the overbase line item for this check is currently $5.39 a hundredweight. For this check, it's $456.85. Year to date, $1,109.68. Because we know that this program was not instituted prior to January, and we can also see your January check that you've uploaded, you can use these year-to-date numbers as the proof of total economic harm. So what you're going to do, the price field is the total dollar amount that you want to claim, not the per hundredweight dollar amount. So on this check, it's $1,109.68. So there we go. We'll get that entered in. I'll upload the file again. So even though I've uploaded it in the milk production section, I'll just upload it again here. Well, that's loading. On the Agrimark check, you can see there's a base excess charge. So that would be similar line item there. So you could claim that. It doesn't necessarily show the total amount. So that would be something where you'd want to have an additional document that could show the math for all the months. So here we go. Document is uploaded. The reason is a drop-down menu. You just select one of those, increase cost of operations, and then the reason. So this is your opportunity to tell us what was happening, why we should relate this to the pandemic. So this was a supply management plan by cooperative. And we understand that that was something that was initiated by the co-op. So if you have anything else, you can select any one of these reasons, or we give you 5 sort of free choice line items here. The final question to answer is, has your business applied for or received compensation from any other state, federal, or insurance program for losses or expenses that would you claim here? So this is a duplicative payment question. We can only pay for one loss or expense once. And so if you receive CFAP, do not include that here because you've already accounted for it. But if you receive dairy margin coverage, an economic injury disaster loan, dairy revenue protection, any of those programs is indicated in this little information bubble that comes up, and some that may not be included here. If you are asking for payment for something that you've already received payment for, enter the dollar amount. So you just put that in right here. I'll say $1,000. If you say no, you don't have to enter anything. You click next, and then you're on your application review page. So you can just scroll through, see everything that you've entered. This is a good time to double check that you've entered the right information and the right milk check on the right line item. If you need to go back, you can't navigate to specific sections in it. You just start from the beginning and click through, but your information's all saved. So everything looks good to me. We get to this final page of certification. You are required by law to select one of these. If you click other, then you have to enter in something. So you could say cow health, for example. If you select one of these other ones, you just use the right hand arrow to move it over. So something needs to be in this selected box. And then you read through these legal attestations saying that you understand that this is a legal document, lots of certifications, and then you enter your name, which is considered the same as signing a paper application. Not that we have paper applications, but it's typing your name in here. It takes the same legal weight as an actual signature. And you submit, and you're done. So now you get the confirmation page. You'll immediately get a confirmation email with your application number. And that is as easy as it is to submit an application once you've got all your documentation together. So I do just want to go back here to show you a check again. One common thing that Joanna mentioned that people are attempting to claim is the producer price differential. On this check, you can see it's $5.38 a hundredweight for a deduction of $4,082.61. This dollar amount is taken into account in your pay price. So you are not eligible to claim producer price differential as an additional economic harm or loss of revenue because it is already accounted for. So please do not enter that. We'll be sending it back to you. The same goes for the location adjustment, the market adjustment. All of these things are already taken account into your milk check, and we are unable to provide payment for those. So on the DFA check, the over baseline item, the COVID-19 costs are eligible for addition. And on the Agrimark check, you'll see the base excess charge line that has appeared. That is also eligible. And if you're wondering about how you go about claiming the lost opportunity for making milk because of a supply management plan, on our website, this is the FAQ section. And if you scroll down most of the way, you'll find this table. This is how you account for the reduction in volume of milk that you had to do as a result of a supply management plan. So it's all based on 2019 numbers. So you'll enter, we included March as an example, your volume by month in pounds, your 2020 volume, which should match the information that you put in the milk production section on the table, the difference, so you're just subtracting the two, the price for the month of 2020. So this is the same information from the milk production table. You multiply those two numbers and you come up with a dollar amount. You can add up all the months to date. So it'd be April essentially through August, and you'll get a number in this bottom box, and that is what you will submit as the milk that you were not able to produce due to supply management. And so you will need to upload a document with this table on it and your 2019 milk checks to prove that that is an eligible expense or lost revenue for you to claim. All right, so that was a whirlwind trip through the application.